Hey, this is Justin with King Swings, and today we're going to talk about play deck sizes and why that matters. By the end of this video, you should know what deck size you want. The 2x2 play deck is a really great space saver. It's perfect for attaching swing beams onto it. It's great for having a slide and a ladder. It's just all about being space efficient. You can see the 2x2 play deck in action on the Honey Bear Hangout. The 4x4 play deck is a great upgrade from the 2x2. It has more space, it can have full width climbers attached to it, and in general, it can just hold a lot more kids. The Cubby's Fort, the Teddy's Tower, and the Care Bear Castle all have 4x4 play decks. So if you take a look at those sets, you'll get a very good idea of what can go on a 4x4. The 4x6 tower is where things get a little bit more interesting because it can be 4x6 or it can be 6x4 depending on which way you orient things. The things you really need to know is that on the 6-foot side of these 4x6 play decks, you can attach 2 items. Now, it's not advised to do a full width climber and another item because there will be no safety spindles at all, but you can do things like a ladder and a fireman's pole, or a ladder and a waterfall slide. So the 6-foot side gives you a lot more versatility. You can see a 4x6 in action on the Starboard Escape. The 6x6 play deck is a really great play deck. It has lots of room for lots and lots of children up here. And because it has 6-foot sides all the way around the tower, you can attach a lot of different fun activities to this thing. You can see this tower in action on the Captain's Pearl. Now we're getting into the really big play decks. This is a 6x8 play deck or a 8x6 play deck, depending on which way you orient it. Once again, you can attach so much to these play decks because of how big they are. In fact, on this 8-foot side, you can attach up to 3 different items as long as they're not a full width climbing one. Check out the Sea King to see this play deck as a 6x8, or check out the Bungalow to see it as an 8x6. You also will see this play deck on the Cottage, where you have a 6x8 play deck. However, you have a 6x6 playhouse sitting on top of it. So you have your 6x6 playhouse and then a 2-foot balcony in the front. So the 6x8 play deck is an extremely versatile play deck. Now we're getting into the truly monstrous size play decks. The 8x8 is a wonderful play deck. It has so much space for attaching so many different items. It has space for multiple adults to be up here and be comfortable. You can see the 8x8 play deck in action on the Mansion. Now the Mansion has an 8x8 play deck and also a 6x6 playhouse sitting on that play deck. So that way you have a 2-foot balcony both in the front and one of the sides. And now we've reached the biggest standard play deck we make, the 8x11. Now the 8x11 is an absolute beast of a play deck. You could have so many children up here, you could have multiple adults up here. It's an absolute workhorse of a play deck. You can see this play deck in action on the Palace. Now the Palace has an 8x11 play deck, but with an 8x8 playhouse sitting on top of it. So with this big of a play space, you can have sleepovers, you could have tables and chairs up here. You could do so many things with this big old 8x11 play deck. Now the subject on tower size and what can work and what cannot work with different towers is a really large subject. And if you have questions, I encourage you to reach out to our swing set design team, as they can pretty much help you work through all of this. There is one thing to note, is that 8-foot is the widest play deck we can make. We won't go any wider than 8-foot because then we'd have to get an oversized banner for our trailers and all that kind of stuff. But we have done bigger towers than 8x11. So if you have questions, reach out to us by email, by socials, by phone. We'd love to help you out. Until next time, this has been Justin with King Swings. Bring the playground home.